Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Noisy Neighbours podcast. Joined as usual by my brother Christian. Christian, international break. Are you getting by? Are you enjoying the break actually with how things are with your club?
I'm very happy. I could do with this. Can we have a few more internationals? Honestly, I absolutely hate international breaks, but like you say, it's a welcome break. What about you? Saying that, you've had a bit of an upturn in form, haven't you, of late? So,
Yeah. Well, after 7 goals in 2 games, I wanted it to continue really, but I'm sure they'll bring me straight back down to earth as soon as we're back against Forest. So
oh yeah, they know
yeah,
what they're good at.
I must admit, we've not had one in a while, so it's not like what I think. In October and September, we had like 2 within a month of each other or something. So
Sorry, just a big bear dog getting in the way.
intruder.
Just one second. Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry.
So we've not had many international breaks, so it doesn't feel too sort of forced this one really. Not that I particularly love watching England play friendlies, but
No, exactly. I think some of the players needed a break as well. I think some of the lads that haven't gone on international duty going on holiday. I expect Grealish has probably gone to Newcastle. I bet that's looking lively this fucking week.
I'm surprised he weren't there on Sunday, really, in the Newcastle end with Pickford's
he will
brother.
be. I know. Madness.
I think. Oh yeah, slight different feel this week. England pod. We've got another little topic that you want to talk about, and another one on the Carabao, the big weekend for Newcastle as well. So we've got a little bit of a different feel this week as opposed to being heavily weighted on United City. So yeah. So tier 1 journalists, I think you would say David Ornstein is one of the very best. He probably goes number 1 for me over Romano just because he's just quite clean in his delivery and he doesn't hit you with 50 single tweets on one thing. It's like Ornstein says something and then it's like, right, that's it. So he's talking about, I've not got the exact wording, but the general gist is Luis Diaz, Colombian winger for Liverpool, to Manchester City, or at least just exiting Liverpool.
Yeah.
So there's 2 things here. Liverpool selling him in general, and then the second thing is City potentially buying him. So obviously you're a City fan. There's issues in the wide areas. I'd say considerable issues at the moment going into next season, unless Savinho really, really picks up. Well, I don't know. What's your initial take on that? On Diaz potentially coming? And no idea on fee, obviously, but
yeah, I think. Listen, he's an upgrade on what we've got, but it's a bit strange to me because I mean, if you look at his figures, what he's his numbers that he's putting up, when I've been crying out for someone that can produce more. To be fair, I mean he's got 9 Prem goals, I think 3 assists. So they are decent numbers. It's a big upgrade on what we've got. However, I want to go more into that next level where we need someone that's going to come in and really help with numbers with Haaland. And I just feel like is he more in the ilk of he's going to consistently get you 7, 8, 9 at best. I don't know whether he's going to take us to that next level. What do you think? Do you think you've watched a bit of Diaz at Liverpool? Do you think he could really come in and change things for City? Or
well, I mean, look, the numbers aren't eye-popping for him, which is a bit of a concern because where you're at now, you would want to fill in some numbers. Especially after this season. So it doesn't make sense from that standpoint. I think generally he's pretty good. I think he isn't just a sort of stat machine. I think he's a pretty good dribbler, quite direct, unpredictable, pretty good off the ball. He presses well, so he's in that ilk. I think the best case scenario, if you did sign him, it would be a Guardiola gets 120% out of him sort of winger. So I'm thinking Pedro at Barca. I'm thinking Sterling at City, where Guardiola elevated them to a level that was not their true level. You saw their levels after they moved on to different clubs. I think that's possible, but it's hard to say, really. It's hard to say just because of the system at City and where you're at. I don't know. I don't know because I don't know where Pep's at now, and I don't know what he could be potentially thinking, and that's what's quite because in like just in a vacuum, I think he's in that sort of Sterling Pedro sort of style that
I agree.
He could go and get 16 goals.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's another risk. If you want my honest, I think if you want to go and get a sure bet, I don't think he's a sure bet.
no.
And why are Liverpool selling him? You know that.
Yeah, well, this is one thing I wanted to get onto you for. I was thinking it's a bit of a strange sell for Liverpool at this time in his career. Listen, the article was Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz, and Liverpool are open to selling both. They're open to offers, and I just think that's not a good look. For why are they willing to offload him, and then why are we willing to take him? If he's not performed at Liverpool, we're taking a winger that couldn't cut it there. I just don't understand. We've got to surpass them. I don't understand if they got someone else better in line. We've seen this with United when you were pissed off the other week and you were going, we've signed Ugarte, but they went and lined up. Who was it? They went and got Neves and
John Neves. It was John Neves.
John Evers, yeah. So there you go, and I'm just a bit concerned on that. I do think, listen, he's an upgrade on what we've got, because currently I would suggest he's going to come in for Doku, if he does come in. And Doku is, my thoughts on him. He is the most frustrating footballer, I think, in the Premier League. How can you be that good at taking your man on and get nothing at the end of it? You don't score, you don't assist, you consistently do nothing. You consistently run the ball out of play, you pass it to the wrong team. He's the most wasteful player I've ever seen. So it would be an upgrade in terms of that. It's just, you're looking at this City team now, and we are way off the pace. And you need to really get back to winning ways, winning titles, challenging for titles. I mean, to be honest, we just need to get back to a solid top 4 team to begin with. And I just don't know if he screams to me that he's going to be the man that will really elevate us into that next level. And I also think there's a bit of an issue with this Marmoush signing, because me and you've been discussing where Marmoush is going to fit. And I think if you go and sign Diaz, is that a bit of an admission that we are doubling down with the wing play? Therefore, that would mean Marmoush is going to play in like a De Bruyne role, which I really don't like the idea of, because I truly believe he has to play alongside Haaland or maybe just behind him. He's certainly a second striker at best, if not a 9.
Yeah, I think that Marmoush is definitely not going to be a winger. I think that does then make sense that you're going potentially getting a winger, be it Diaz or someone else. I suppose, like, we were talking about the striker market being light. The left wing market's not as great as it used to be. But in Europe, like, Kvaratskhelia was probably a good, very, very good one that moved recently, so you can forget that. Yeah. I mean, PSG have got 2 or 3. Yeah, it's a very tricky one, because I do think that there's so many question marks about what City are going to actually look like next year. It's hard to say whether... But then, saying that regardless of the system, you need to upgrade Doku. That's the thing for me, is if he's not that expensive. I mean, he is 28. I mean, that's another thing that... I mean, what's his age? So he's 28 now. He turned 28. So he'll turn 29 middle of next season. I mean, that's not... you worried a little bit with that. Is that what... Do Liverpool know something that we don't? Because do you remember when Fabinho went quite quick? And then it turned out... and you're looking at this and thinking, well, if he was 25, okay, but didn't he struggle with injuries last year or the year before? Because I'm looking at his appearances. 2002, 2023, he played 17 games.
Yeah.
Okay, last year, 37 out of 38, so Klopp absolutely flogged him. This year, 28, so he's been available every game this year as well. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I mean, are they thinking Gakpo's better? I don't know. I don't know what Liverpool are doing at all. I do think City should sign a winger. Yeah, I suppose it depends what Liverpool went and did, because they'd have to replace him. Gakpo's not better than him, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
I think with my opinion on this, Alex, it's like you've got to be careful as an opposition fan, because, listen, we all get linked to these wingers, any sort of offensive player, and you're tempted to be like, blindsided because most of them are exciting, and you can go at a core. Most offensive players get you out of your seat, right? So, for instance, if someone gets linked to Doku, they're going to be like, "Oh my god." Can you imagine searching Doku on YouTube and you're like, fuck me, what are we getting here? But you've also got to look at the bigger picture. We want to get back to challenging for league titles. I personally don't know if he'd be that guy. So therefore, you can see why, from my point of view, I'm just thinking, is it a bit of a sideward step, maybe slightly forward from Doku, because he is going to get you a few goals. But the thing is, for us, we need someone who's going to link well with Haaland. Personally, I don't know if he would be that guy. I mean, I've seen him alongside, I know it'd be a bit of a harsh criticism, seeing him alongside Nunes because he is useless. But I don't know. It is going to be a tough one, that, whether that would be the right move for City. And like you say, price is a huge thing there. I didn't realise he was 28.
I think the link between Haaland is important because you're already nobody can cross a road at the minute for City. The crossing ability in your team has gone from probably the best going in the league to one of the worst. Like, Savinho and Doku are awful at it. From what I've seen, neither can land the ball anywhere near Haaland. I mean, Doku's abysmal at crossing.
That's it.
So, you're looking at it thinking, well, Diaz is he a great crosser? Because Haaland doesn't really want these roadrunner wingers running into dead ends, slamming it into the box with their eyes shut, hoping it falls to them. He wants somebody like De Bruyne. I tell you, you'd be better. Arnold would be better for City. Trent would be better for City
I know.
for Haaland.
No, you're right. Because him in them positions where we now find Rico Lewis, this is where I get so pissed off with the Lewis thing, because if you did have a Trent there, I could see the point, because I'm like, right, well, yes, he is shit at the back, but what we gain in them positions where he does dip into midfield and he becomes like an 8, then it's priceless what he would give us, because he would give you them De Bruyne-esque crosses. There's only Trent in world football, really, that can do the same that, well, I'm not saying it's as good as, but I mean, to be fair, he has had some seasons where he's been as good at that. That inside right swinging cross is unbelievable from Trent.
So, I mean, look, I'm not saying that's possible. It looks like it's Madrid, or he will stay at Liverpool, probably Madrid. But, yeah, I think but City's strategy as of January, January was a bit wild. I wouldn't rule it out, honestly, because...
No, I wouldn't.
Is there, like, you're sat there now going, as a City fan, you're going, I hope there's a plan that's going to come to fruition in July. You've got that World Cup shit, but pre-season going into the Prem, you go, well, I hope pre-season's going to show me something. But right now, as a fan, you can't piece the jigsaw puzzles together because you don't see it. You don't know how Marmoush's going to link with Haaland. Your wingers can't cross currently. They like to cut in and shoot. Doku just likes running past people and fighting with everyone. And Rodri, we don't know what's going to come back. So for you, it's like, God, okay, Diaz raises the bar a little bit over Doku, but I'd say you lose a bit of dribbling, but probably gain a bit more of a goal threat. But honestly, is it 1A for 1? Is it 1A for 1B? You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is my fear, Alex. I'm just thinking. I've been concerned with our transfer strategy now for the last few seasons, and the addition of Luis Diaz doesn't change that for me. Do you understand where I'm coming from? I feel like our approach has been a bit scattergunny, and it seems to keep going in that direction. It seems like we're digging ourselves a deeper hole. Do you remember when I said to you the other day, Alex? It might have been on one of the lives or the pods, and I said to you, when Liverpool lose Salah and they have these other forwards, they're going to be in a similar situation to City, because they have no one coming in that can get anywhere near the numbers. Suddenly, you lose Salah numbers, you have Diaz, Gakpo, I'm sure I even said his name, and then next minute we're in for one of their guys who I listed that wasn't going to be able to cut it once their main guy goes, and I'm like, is this... I don't understand the strategy. If we were going, say, to... I'd have almost preferred, right, if we went and signed a guy from Argentina, or someone that's scouted from River Plate or somewhere in South America, and we pay 20 million, I'd be a bit like, right, well, they've obviously done the due diligence. They've gone and scouted him, and we've seen it's worked in the past for us. Signing a winger from Liverpool with the blinkers on, and we're all going to go, oh, he's had some good games. He roasted us one time. Yeah, but we've also seen him over a 38-game season, and he hasn't exactly spearheaded Liverpool's attack or like changed them. They've ultimately relied on Salah. We're taking one of their spare guys, really, who sometimes isn't even in the lineup. I just don't really like it personally, but I understand.
I'm sure recently he's had about a 10, 11 game goal drought for Liverpool. But you don't see it because Salah scores every game, and that's the thing, isn't it? It's like there's one thing being a guy, but are you the guy? And that's the difference. And Salah is the guy. He's had a tough few games, but he is always reliable over 38 games. Diaz, Gakpo, Nunes, Jota, they're not. And City need to be honest, I think City are going away from what look, you sign Haaland just because anybody in the world would have done it regardless of what your team looked like. However, when you did sign him, you were like, wow, this is amazing. Like, we've got De Bruyne and it works great. Like, and Foden linked pretty well with him too. And now it's like, now you just went and got Mamouche. I don't know, maybe a panic. And now it's like, we've got Doku and Savinho. You're trying to make that work. And now you're like, oh my God, what do we do now? Like, do we go with a fast winger? Do we try and sign someone who can cross? I don't know. Honestly, I've not looked at Pep or City like this since maybe ever. Honestly, because even the false 9 season, there was a plan and it was good. Like, it was a bit odd to start with, but you were like, well, this is what Pep wants to do. He doesn't think Aguero's got it anymore. Well, this is what he wants to do. Like, but now I'm like, I honestly, I don't know how you're going to line up. I don't even know who you're going to sign, because I think, the Diaz is like an older profile winger that I thought Guardiola would go for. But now you've got Haaland. You can't just plug and play people now. Now you can't just go and get, oh, he's fast and he's good for a goal. No, Haaland needs, but like, if you're not maximising Haaland, then it's pointless. So that has to be your game plan. And I don't believe Diaz would contribute. Like I said, Trent would be better, considerably.
Yeah. I think, Alex, no, I agree. And I think the strategy the direction we seem to be going in, I just don't, it feels like we're not learning from all mistakes. It's like, right, you've got number 9 there, who, our best year out of our number 9 was De Bruyne prime. I'm not saying go out and sign De Bruyne. I know it's not that simple. What I am saying is, though, we've seen the formula that really isn't working for our number 9. And that is these pacey wingers who can't really cross the ball. Now, you are signing pacey winger that isn't very good at crossing the ball. And that is my ultimate problem with this. I'm thinking, are you learning from your mistakes? And I don't think they are. Listen, as well, it is worth saying, look, it is a rumour online, but it was put out by Tier 1s, and I do think City must have registered some sort of interest for it to be brought out by Ornstein, and Romano said it as well. So we'll see what direction City do go in, but if we are going in that direction, it does worry.
Yeah. I mean, look, you've got a lot of ground to make up. You don't know. I mean, probably a conversation for another day. I do think there's a low point total Prem winner coming soon. I think it's going to come because it could be next year, because I don't see... So Liverpool might get 90-ish this year. Certainly now they're out of everything. They're going to probably just try and win and win and win. If they were in the Champions League, they might rotate a few games. I do think in the next coming years, I'm looking at Arsenal, I'm looking at City, and I'm looking at the post-Salah Liverpool, and I'm like, are we going to see a league winner on 82 points soon? Because I think it could be happening. The days of your 95s, I don't think the top sides are at that level at all, even with investment from yourselves or Liverpool. I think there's maybe next year you might see 84 points might win it for someone. I agree. Just to emphasise, I mean, I know we've not done a City United pod, but I just thought I'd hit you with this. So we've obviously come into the international break. United and City have both played 17 games this calendar year, 2025. United have got a better record than City since January the 1st. in all comps. So I appreciate there's a Champions League, Europa balance there, but your FA Cup games have been easier than ours. But yeah, City have won 9 out of 17. United have won 9 out of 17. We've drawn 4, lost 4. You've drawn 2, lost 6. And you've also conceded 7 more goals than us. I feel like United lose every game. So how we've not lost 17 out of 17, tongue in cheek, I get it. But do you know what I mean? United have won 9 out of 17 this calendar year.
Yeah, we have been. Listen, we have been absolutely abysmal. I mean, I know you could lean on we have had a bit of a tougher run than you because your tough run is now coming up and our tough run is behind us. But yeah, you make a great point. How our drop off this year cannot be put on just Rodri. It has been an absolute decimation this year, and do you know what? I've never seen a squad fold so quickly from the year before. Like, you know, it's normally gradual, like you see signs. It was like, you even said to me the other day, like, did you think, was the FA Cup the start of it? It was like, well, potentially, but we didn't see, no one would have envisaged this. Like, we all just thought, they played a bit like they celebrated too much on the Prem victory, and that was as much as we could take from it. No one foresaw an absolute catastrophe this season, and that's ultimately what we've had.
That's the thing as well, Christian. I mean, just on those. So I knocked together a bit of a stats thing for United and City this year, just to see how they've been really since the turn of the year. Obviously, United were abysmal over Christmas. We got battered by a load of mid-table teams. In the league only, we've both played 10 league games, obviously. You've won 5, we've won 4. We've drawn 3, you've drawn 2. And we've both lost 3. So you've got 2 more points than United this calendar year in the Prem.
It's awful. It's absolutely
and
awful.
You've scored 5 more goals than us, and we've got the exact same defensive record. Yeah, I mean, it's just absolutely crazy.
And this is what I'm saying. Leaning back to that, Alice, you're reading these stats. Does signing Luis Diaz change any of this? No.
Well, that's how I thought I'd tie it in, because it is linked to like what is the ground. I mean, you've got the point total. Like, are we going to have to make up? Look, if Liverpool are going to go and get another 90 points, City are going to really need to spend well. I mean, I honestly think it could reduce, though. Do you think we could have an 84-point winner soon? What's your vibe?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know where you're going with it. I do. No, I agree with you. Just
you can't bank on that, by the way. Just saying.
No, of course not. Yeah,
just meaning you might.
Arsenal probably will, but
it's going to be Arsenal will win it on 81 points or some shit. I'm telling you. That'll be their one.
They ain't winning shit. Not with their fucking squad. They've got this weird loser attitude. Arsenal, like, you know, like, why have you got academy players coming through, like, taking the piss out of the best striker in world football, and then like you've got. Did you see the other day with This is a bit of a weird segue, this, right? But while it's on topic, you know, Chelsea's manager. Did you see Timber? Yeah, did you see Timber? And he's like, try harder. He's like, do you know why they will never win anything? Because they've got these bunch of cunts that obviously the manager's not like culling this behaviour. Well, to be fair, I think it's coming from him. I think it's watering down from him. They are the most arrogant bunch of losers. It's the best way I can put it. How can you be so big-headed when you've done nothing?
Even worse, Maresca shook his hand after he said that. I mean, that's even worse from Maresca's standpoint. But Chelsea are complete god. We need to book in about 3 hours to discuss what they are. Fuck me. But yeah. I think well, let's see how it progresses. Obviously, it would be the summer, wouldn't it? God knows how it ties into the World Cup. I think we need to look at that another day. This Club World Cup, because Pep mentioned it the other day, and I was like, "What the? I've completely forgot about
it."
But
God, we do not need that. That's the last thing we need. I know it's great for global. I know it's great for like global and selling more shirts or whatever.
I think everyone's going to take it a bit easy. I think it's going to be friendlies. Yeah. And then, you know, like the semis and the final, play your best team, I think, anyway.
Yeah, it would have to be.
God knows, I have no idea what to expect with that. Like you said, it's 80 games. It's just daft, isn't it?
All I would say, Alex, just on the last point about Diaz, I'd just remind any City fans watching it that, we all do get excited, but just don't be one of them fans where, like, you know, for instance, Arsenal, when they got linked to, they got Sterling on the last day, and, like, suddenly you've seen Sterling, you've been laughing at him in a Chelsea shirt for a year, and then you're getting him, and it's like, oh, actually, he could be good. Don't do that. Like, by the way, I'm not making a comparison between Diaz and Sterling.
No,
I'm just saying, don't be
yeah.
that fan where just because we get linked, you're happy. Look at the strategy our club's going in, and do you think it really fits? Or do you think City are just scattergunning at this point? Because it does concern me. But yeah, I'd leave it at that. And let's see.
Yeah, I suppose you got to give it another window and then probably revisit it in August. And if this continues, obviously your concern level's going to increase. But there's so many question marks. Next season's going to be mad. I mean, look, the champions elect, you'd have to call them, are going to be. Sounds like the fucking squad's going to be overhauled. So God knows what they're going to look like. God knows what you're going to look like. And Arsenal, oh fuck knows, like you said. But yeah, let's see how it goes, mate. International break episode done.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Cheers, guys.
Like, subscribe, hit us up in the comments if you want any requests for a topic. Give us a shout. Put it in the comments, and we'll try and give it a go if there's anything you want to, or anything we want us to react to. Christine's already suggested the QPR game from 2012, so.
I could do with being cheered up.
If there's anybody that can come up with something better than that, I will gladly do that instead. But yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Catch you on the next one.